last edition for the week. We would have to end conversations and start, of course, tomorrow. But first, let's talk the political implication of the Supreme Court judgment on the political structure in Rivers State. I am Kalada Korubata, but we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, Nigerian to PH, and we are active on X as well. And joining me for this conversation is a political or a socio-political commentator, Marcus Ijioma, and we will be trying to understand how these will, affect, the political structure in Rivers State. For months, since October, you would agree with me that Rivers State has been involved, or would I say immersed, in a political battle for the political soul of Rivers State. And I remember the FCT minister saying that it is a fight for political structure, and the political structure has got to do with the local government structure, the House of Assembly structure, the office of the governor and deputy governor, the representatives at the National Assembly from Rivers State, and that's what makes up the political structure in Rivers State. Marcus Ijioma, welcome on the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Port Harcourt.
All right. I should start by apologizing for distracting the work that you're doing, but please, we do have an unfinished conversation. The last time, or one of the few times we have talked recently, we mentioned possible implications as it relates to local government. And I remember you saying certain things. One, that INEC should conduct local government elections. You also said that autonomy would be good for local governments in Nigeria. Now, like James Ibori has said, this means the powers of state governors is now reduced. Also means that the federal government has direct control of local government. But basically, how are you reacting to the Supreme Court judgment? Let's start from there.
There are a few things to commend about the current administration. If you ask me, this is just one of those few things that we must commend the current federal government for. It's been a long way coming. They tried to achieve it through the National Assembly. It was killed by the State Assembly because most state governors were not comfortable with it. So going to the Supreme Court was more or less the shorter cut, and it got the deal done. So for that, I commend the federal government. My reaction to it is that of excitement. I'm happy that at least some of us can now vie for local government chairman.
Okay, but what would you make of the fears that it's going to be controlled directly by the federal government? James Ibori.
It's not true.
Okay.
It's not true because when we talk about autonomy, what is really at stake is the resources of the local government, nothing more.
Okay.
So what it means is, the Muhammad Buhari to do something like that by directing that government must be sent to government accounts. And even that, found ways I'm sure the local government chairman to do their bidding. So the money basically just hits the local government and bounces back into the government account. So this autonomy now, the next thing that should follow is for the federal government to also make the move to abolish state electoral commissions that have never done us any good. Because at the State Electoral Commission, like for most of the states, almost 99% of the states, whoever the governor wants is who the State Electoral Commission announces as winner. Oftentimes, opposition parties boycott the elections because the handwriting is on the wall that is going to be practically controlled by the governor. So we have made a very major step, which is the autonomy by the Supreme Court, which means there's a law backing the fact that local government is truly a federating unit, and as such, they should be in control of their resources. The next thing for me is to have INEC conduct local government elections.
How does this change the political structure in the state? Because remember, if you cast your mind back to the primaries for the 2023 election, most especially the APC governors at the time, even threatened the then president Muhammadu Buhari when he attempted to bring his candidate I don't know if you remember the conversation at
I
the time.
remember very well.
And at that time, it showed the strength the governors had. Is this in any way going to reduce, abate the power that these governors wield, all 36 of them?
Absolutely true. But in the case of Nigeria, so it doesn't do for us, not state. Until we have elected chairmen who are directly and truly elected by people who are accountable to the people. The status quo remains for that of Rivers State because Rivers State is currently running what we call the caretaker committee system. And most of the states are doing the same. So for those states who are running caretaker committee, the chairman and the legislative council are basically appointees of the governor. So they will forever do his bidding. That's why we allow INEC to do the election, like I already said. INEC can have a different schedule for the local government election like is done in the US and other places. So where we have the general election at a particular season, the local government election can hold maybe every 3 years with a good gap in between. I think the fairest local government election we've had in Nigeria were the ones organized by NECO or NECON at the time, before the invention of INEC. So to consolidate on this autonomy, INEC needs to take over local government elections.
Okay. Let's look at, how do I put it now? This politician has got, there's a word they usually use.
I can hardly hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Say that again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was going to talk about, a state governor usually is as strong as the amount of local government chairmen on his side. Give the local government chairman financial autonomy and saying, governors cannot interfere in how they administer their local government. Would it not create some kind of political imbalance where people will now see the local government chairman as the people to go to, as the people with the political, what's the word now? The political prowess.
They now have a swollen wallet.
Something like that. So, I mean, how does this, I'm trying to paint the political picture, how does it, even looking at River State, assuming we had a proper democratic local government, how does this change the political structure that we have been fighting for since October last year?
Ideally, everybody in Nigeria should be rejoicing over this local government autonomy, ideally.
Okay.
Because what it means is that local government chairmen now have more funds to carry out projects in the rural areas. Remember when the local governments were first created in the 76, I think 1976, when we had the first set of local governments, the idea was to bring government closer to the people. And the Constitution clearly states what the local government should do, especially the items on the residual list. So what this should have meant is that by the next set of allocation coming in, Obiakpo should receive his full allocation. Faga does the same all down the way to all the local governments in River State. And we'll now see a project springing up right, left, and center, developmental things happening all over the local government. And people who have no business being in Port Harcourt can return back to their various villages and begin to benefit from this autonomy. However, in River State, like I said, we have a caretaker committee. So they will not benefit much until we have elected chairmen. And what that means is that you're not going to be having local government chairmen who have a mind of their own, just like we used to have in 1999. I remember mentioning a few names of former, in fact, the current FCT minister was once a local government chairman. If they were not autonomous at the time, they wouldn't have wielded the kind of influence they wielded at the time they were local government chairman. The current former governor of Benue State, Otom, was former local government chairman. Senator Abba Moro, former local government chairman. A lot of people who are currently in government today enjoyed autonomy as local government chairman during this time. But the River State, there's not much we can talk about that, but what we currently have is not the thing that we should rejoice about, which is the caretaker committee.
Looking at 2027, some people have said, this is because of 2027. Looking at 2027, how do you think this will impact, the
impact is going to be very great.
Okay. Tell me about it.
It's going to be very great because, like I said, local government chairmen with mind of their own. Because in Nigeria, when you have money, you have mind. There are a few things you can do. So you are going to have local government chairmen who are going to stand up to their various governors to say, as far as my local government is concerned, this is what's going to happen. Because now, when the money hits, like I said, this autonomy is primarily financial autonomy. So if the money hits the account and they decide to bounce it back to the state government, they have EFCC to answer to at this time now. Because at that point, it becomes illegal. Because I'm looking forward to all of the issues that will happen around JAC, the Joint Allocation Board, that is responsible for sharing money at the state level. What this means is that has to be dissolved. So we are going to have local government chairmen who will be answerable to federal institutions like EFCC and ICPC. So if the federal government wants to make good their victory at the Supreme Court, is to ensure that the local government's resources are properly monitored by EFCC and ICPC to ensure that local governments deliver. But the moment the local government chairmen begin to perform, some of them will become more popular than the governors, like we had between 1999 and 2003.
Interesting. But what political game can the River State governor play? I remember the last conversation we had was centered on this very question I want to ask now. What political game political move can the governor make at this point, given the fact that local governments have been given autonomy and there is going to be an election for local government here in River State? What game can he play so that he would have his trusted allies, winning these elections at the local level?
In Nigeria, loyalty is very critical to any political structure. So we are going to see a situation where the governor's controlled faction of the PDP will throw up loyalists of the current governor. I am just hoping and praying that these loyalists will be qualified alongside. They will nominate qualified loyalists. They will nominate pragmatic loyalists. They will nominate technocrats who are loyal to the governor. I keep using the word loyal because in Nigeria, if you are not careful, sometimes loyalty supersedes capacity or even your intellectual capacity. So the governor can quickly ensure that all his loyal men get nominated at the PDP level and win the local government election without any hassle, so that no matter how successful the local government chairman become, they will be useful to him if he is interested in running for 2027, because they now have a lot of funds in their resources, in their coffers, to do projects that will get the people to love the party and the governor, so that winning 2027, if he is interested, becomes a lot easier. The emphasis on credible, loyal men and women.
But when it comes to choosing who will be the next governor, will that not also cause a problem? Because if all of them are loyal, who then gets to be the next? I'm now trying to think like a politician, right? Who then tries or attempts being a governor? Who is going to be chosen? Who's going to be the chosen one?
In terms of among the local government chairmen, or I don't get your
amongst the local government chairmen, of course.
Well, most in our political culture in Nigeria, governors have the right of first refusal as far as primaries are concerned. It's just a few cases, like in Lagos State, where Governor Ambode was literally pushed out. Most times, the party gives the governor the right of first refusal. It is when the governor refuses to pick the ticket or is not interested, which rarely happens though, that it's now thrown open to the public. So like I mentioned, a few people who have been local government chairmen who end up becoming governors. It's normal for a local government chairman to move from being a local government chairman to being a governor or a minister in Nigeria. So what Governor Sim needs to work on, like I said, it's not necessarily about who is going to succeed him or who is going to contest against him. He needs to get loyal men into office at the local government level so they can take over the so-called structure.
Time is up. Thank you very much.
You are tuned in
a look at the headline news. Bayelsa State Governor Diri calls for swift rehabilitation of Okogbe axis of East-West Road in Rivers State. Rivers residents call for urgent government attention on bad internal roads. Port Harcourt traders express worry over delay in accessing state's government loan scheme. Constitutional lawyer says state governments can still run CTC if they can fund on the foreign scene. EU accused X of likely deceit of users. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kalada Kurubatabo.
You no longer have to miss any moment of the action. Listen to us from anywhere in the world. Download the Nigeria Info FM app from your app store. Tap the menu bar on the top left corner of your screen, select Port Harcourt, and listen to your number one talk radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
This is Hard Facts.
All right, thank you for staying tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info. 28 minutes to the top of the hour, but we do have a commercial coming up in a few minutes' time. So I'm going to quickly open the phone lines and get your thoughts. For those of you joining us right now, you're welcome. You're listening to Hard Facts at 92.3 Nigeria Info. And once again, I am Kala Dakurubasabo. It's great to have you. Really great to have you. All right, let's open the phone lines. But just once again to run through the conversation, I was speaking with Marcus Ijioma not too long ago, and the conversation was still around the Supreme Court judgment, and this time we're looking at the political implications because political structure usually, as defined by the FCT minister, has to do with the local government chairman and councillors, the state governor, deputy governor, and House of Assembly members, and then the representatives at the National Assembly from River State. And I think that's that. Maybe you could add the ministerial position given to the state, and in this case, it is the FCT minister that is enjoying that position. So the question then is, does this in any way disrupt or impact or this household structure is in the state? Because usually the governors, the 36 state governors' ability to have some level of control, some level of power over the local government have helped in terms of the kind of political structures they have built over the years. But has that changed now? That's the angle we're looking at it from. Like I asked Dr. Wanasike, what does it mean then? Would local government chairmen be challenging state governors? And you must have heard his reply. So let's get your thoughts. 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003 and 0817 923 0007. These are the call numbers. Let's get your thoughts. WhatsApp 0809 0306 We are live on Facebook, active on X, and also live on YouTube. All right, this one says, does it not also mean that INEC will do the bidding of the president, as we have seen in 2023 general elections? If you like, don't read my message, because you have shown clear alliance with APC, and that is why you mentioned somebody's name is praising you as the man of the people, Bob. All right, Bob, thank you very much. This one says, All right, I think that's from the previous conversation. Jude from Omuma, welcome. Jude, what is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, in my mind is the Supreme Court pronouncement on the autonomy, financial autonomy of the 774 local governments in Nigeria. So, the question there is, he said they are going to withhold the money for the state that is still running caretaker committee. We are told that 21 states are running caretaker committees.
I think it may be 22 now because Ondo State is about to join them. So, yeah, but go ahead. I get you.
Okay. So, if it is with immediate effect, if I use military language, then the Constitution allows 90 days or 3 months for an election
to be conducted.
Local government election to be conducted. Parties have to be given 90 days. And what he is saying, if it is with immediate effect, how is that going to affect the 90 days notice?
I don't know. Maybe it's not going to affect. All that will happen is the local government will not get allocation for the 3 months until, they conduct local government elections. I guess that's how it is done, I believe. So take note of it from that angle.
Well, if it is so, let me look at it to think. In the case of River State, I would say River State is in good shape. In good shape because the local government election has been scheduled for October 5th. If that's what that means, they can only withhold that allocation until the local government election is held. So how about the other states, the 21 or 22 of those local governments? If they plan to conduct after some months,
they still would hold.
So what will they come? I think
it's the same. Jude, there is no time frame. The monies will be held until whenever. It's as simple as that. Until whenever they hold local government elections. But I've got to go. Thank you, Jude from Amuma. I've got Christian from Bunny Island. Christian, welcome. What is on your mind?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, one of the advantages of this local government autonomy is that subsequent governments or past governments, most of these governors, they handpick their loyalists. They also, I know very well that they invite some of them and ask them, can you deliver your word? Can you deliver your local government? If you give them, go ahead and you are sure they back you up. In most cases, some of these candidates they pick are these troubleshooters and gun runners. These people are not academically sound and capable to run the administrative affairs of these local governments in most cases. And one of the advantages this will bring now is that it now depends on the local government to pick candidates that are administratively sound and qualified to run and contest, and that is when they will see the impact and the effect of this autonomy play out in their various localities.
Right.
But if they continue to pick idiots, then sorry.
All right. We don't use such languages, please. Christian, thank you. Emeka from MOA, welcome. What is on your mind? What's on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yes, Kala. Good evening.
I agree with you.
So, what is bothering me here is they said the Supreme Court has given financial autonomy. They were given autonomy yesterday. What happened and they withhold the local government fund? What happened to the local government staff, the civil servants there? Are they going to wait the 3 months?
I guess so.
Do the election before they will pay them?
I guess so.
For my own suggestion, they should have a rethink. This judgment is disturbing.
Okay.
How can you say you hold the money of local government? What happened to the staff that is working there?
Good question there.
So they should try how they can amend it to Because the thing will cause more problem and hardship in the society. We are talking about hardship in society. They are withholding civil servant money. So it's uncalled for.
Interesting.
I would have suggested that they should give the 21 governors that have not did their local government election at least January to read it before they will now withhold the money. It's uncalled for.
All right then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But I don't think you select a particular time to obey. And chairman election will be more bloody, and I think you said from now on. You're saying because there is so much to fight for now. But I've got Bright from Modumaya. Bright, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, Canada. Good evening.
Yeah, greetings to you. Welcome.
You know, the judgment is a good one. The reason is that the local government will not, hello?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
The local government will not be autonomous of their own. And it will also enhance every citizen of within that locality to be able to contest, apart from maybe being financial autonomous, to control your money, the resources, the allocation that comes from federal. So it will bring more development and every other thing that will come within the local government. Then concerning the structure of FCC Minister, former Governor of Silver State, Ian Wike, yes, in politics, there's no way you not do without structure. Structure must be there, which is also what brought this current Governor of Silver State on board to be the Governor of Silver State. Without the structure, he will not be there. People fought for him to be there. And now that he has decided to go out of the structure, Governor is trying to form his own structure, just like this caretaker he has appointed.
But not Bright.
To deliver him or for him to run a good governance.
Bright, quickly, a question. Bright, can you hear me?
Hello?
Quickly, a question for you. So now that this is playing out, the question is, what happens to all of these structures that they are all trying to build? Oh my, the phone lines. I said, now that this Supreme Court has given this judgment, what then happens to all of the structures that all of them are trying to build? You know, the FCT minister, the governor, what happens to it?
Okay, sir. The structure remains. The reason is that as a local government chairman, you may want to move further to the state. Now, if you relate well with the government, which is the state governor, you will move further. And the governor has hands to support you. You understand? If the governor that is present in this local government, you understand? People know that you are the part of him. He will support you in the person of the governor. So there is more to do in terms of that structure continues. There's implication to River State that wants to run a caretaker or that wants to conduct election. I think this thing is, hello?
I'm waiting for you to wrap up, but I've got to let you go at this point. I've got Clinton from Bori, and he will be the last caller. Clinton, welcome.
Thank you, Kalada.
Quickly, please.
I watched a clip where people from Abia State were jubilating workers, local government workers. So I think this verdict from the Supreme Court is a welcome one. In that it gives power or government to the people at the grassroots. Yes, the local government chairman might look as if they are powerful. They are on the same page with the governor. Yes, they are because they are executives. So what I think that we need to do, if we have to get it right, because for now, the elections is going to be conducted by RISEC until the constitution is amended. So if we want to get it right, we want to get a local government that will be autonomous, truly autonomous, let INEC conduct the elections so that we can have people come out of the local government and contest. When they contest and win, they will know that they are on their own and they will carry out projects that will better the lives of those at the grassroots. That is what we want. And I believe that was the aim of Mr. President.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you very much, Clinton. I've got to go at this point, but not before reading a Me4NS message. It says, if the president can appoint INEC boss, why doubt the governor's appointment of state independent electoral boss? The president is not a super being, but a fallible mortal. If INEC must conduct LGA elections, there is need for the constitutional amendment. Me4NS, Port Harcourt. All right. That's how far we can go for now. For now, we'll have to step on the brakes and take a pause and branch and come back after the major news. Do stay tuned.